back. It's back. Queer Eye on Netflix is back, and we could not be more excited. We're recapping season 2, episode 1. And you guys, we're making some banana pudding. We're making pasta salad, and we are going to church. Let's go.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Amen, y'all. Come on. You remember that show, Amen? I love that show.
Amen.
Gay. I love that. Gay men, y'all. Gay men. Hello, everybody. Welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV Queer Eye. Just Queer Eye. I always want to say straight guy, but it's not. Just Queer Eye on Netflix. Season 2, episode 1, A Place Called Gay. We're very excited. We're going to jump right into this. My name is Marr, and we are happy to be here. Charles.
It's Charles Conoly here. I'm back after a while, and I'm glad that I'm back for season 2, episode 1, because this one was an emotional one, y'all. I need to dry my tears with my church fan. Okay? That's what I really need to do.
With our church, man. Okay, everybody. We don't have a full panel today because, you know, it's Father's Day, so our other panel are spending their Father's Day. I have no one. My father lives in Oklahoma. So it's just me. But Lynn and James will be back this season, so we will expect us to have a full panel next week. So we're going to do things a little different this season. And if you're watching, let us know whether it's in the live chat or whether it's in the, which I'm looking at the live chat. So be sure to notice whether it's in the live chat or, oh, Lawrence Falk is here. Yay, Lawrence.
Hi, Lawrence.
Scott Holston, we love you too. He says, love you guys. We're going to do things a little bit different, is that we feel like we were talking about last season. We're going to break it down by each of the Fab Five.
Yes.
So we're going to take our time, so that way we feel like all 5 guys get their respect.
5 Guys, Burgers, and Fries.
Five guys, burgers. And we have a special segment too.
We do have a special segment, which I am going to be taking control of. Okay, can I get a gay man up in here?
Okay, man.
So today's special segment is going to be called When It Got Gay, and it's specifically and directly related to when it got emotional. And God knows, it did get emotional this episode, so Matt and I are going to be sharing our moments where we broke down. Because I broke down
in my pasta salad. So, okay. So, again, this episode's called Place Called Gay because they're in Gay, Georgia.
They are in Gay, Georgia.
And which is a beautiful town. And our subject is Tammy with the Y-E, and Tammy,
not Tammy Faye.
Not Tammy Faye.
But Tammy.
This woman, she's super active in her church. She's a school teacher. She's a breast cancer survivor with her sisters. She volunteers for, anything and everything. She's helping homeless people. She's helping children. She is a mentor.
Her neighbor said if everybody was like Tammy, we wouldn't have any problems. We wouldn't have war. We wouldn't have anything bad in the world.
Gay men did that because I loved this woman.
And it was in Gay. Well, just we need to say it right off the top. It happens in Gay, Georgia. Which why don't I live in Gay, Georgia? I don't understand.
I know. Why don't we all live in Gay, Georgia?
Really?
I feel like anywhere we live, it becomes gay.
It is Gay, Georgia.
It is. It is Gay, Georgia. So she's pillar of the community. She has several children. Jean nominated her. She also has a son, Miles, who we're going to talk about, who is also gay. And so a lot of this was not just about her, but also about him and his coming to terms with sexuality versus faith, which I think we find is a big theme of the show. So let us know what you think about this kind of new format as we go along. And if you have anything in the live chat, we'll be looking at that, and be sure to add, and we will shout that out.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's jump into Bobby, right?
Bobby. Now,
Right?
Bobby, I think, had the biggest... This was like... I don't even say this is his episode of the season because we've only been through one episode, but I think that this is his episode because it's so much about him. It's so much about his direct relationship with the church, and I don't want to say negative relationship with the church because it's kind of more nuanced than that, but it was about him. Like at the beginning, he didn't want to go into the church, and then throughout the episode, he kind of opened up to Tammy and told her about why he was so sensitive to organized religion.
Yeah, because he's talked before, because... there was an episode last year where someone's religious, and he talked a lot about how church was kind of his life.
Yeah.
Before he came out.
Not a day he did not go to church.
Yes, and he taught, and something I remember doing this as a little Catholic boy, like where Bobby said he would go. I remember going to church every Sunday and like asking God to take away.
I did that too.
To heal me to not be gay. So
I didn't just do it at church. I did it all the time.
Me too. Yeah, I almost became a priest.
You because you tried to pray the gay away.
You do. You try to pray the gay away, and Bobby definitely was so that was really just a raw moment from him, and just I related to that too. I don't think I would. This episode helped, but there's not a lot of churches that I honestly would feel safe going into.
Yeah.
And what I love that they did this showcasing Bobby's story is that I feel like, and maybe we both are from the South, so we can relate to this, but I feel like almost anywhere, but especially if you're gay and from the South, church is a whole different thing. And I think that like a lot of people that I know in the North are like, oh, church, it's fine, you don't agree with that, but they don't understand what a part of the culture is.
It's like so ingrained.
Yeah, it's
and
so
I do
ingrained.
like how Bobby's role in this episode, because aside from all the emotional part, like Bobby's role was to revamp and reinvigorate this community center.
And bring the community together.
And he also redesigned Tammy's bathroom. And we know Bobby is always busy. I don't know why I call him Tommy, Tammy, Bobby, Tammy, whatever.
Bobby who?
We know he's always so busy. And I think it was interesting that he was like giving back to organized religion in a way that like, I thought it was beautiful, because he felt like organized religion like took something from him, and then he like comes full circle and interacts with this like saint of a woman, Tammy, and he helps give back to this community.
Yeah, and can we talk about a little bit the community? That was gorgeous.
Yeah, the community center. Okay,
It looked like a beach house in the Hamptons.
Oh my God.
I loved it.
It was so modern and amazing for like 90 people. The population of this town is 90.
Yeah.
Everybody in the town could fit in that community center.
Yeah.
And whenever they talked about like the use of the community center, it was going to be like a place for togetherness and maybe like a daycare. And he really did do a good job at like revamping it, because it was kind of already like what was the term that Gene used? Like dry sealed or something? Like everything was done.
Yeah.
All it needed was like some furniture, some design, some Bobby flair.
It was all cosmetic. They didn't have to
All
do
cosmetic.
anything, and it was a big room.
Exactly.
But still, they wanted to do a lot of different things. They wanted to have like a children's nursery. They wanted to have a center, and he kind of did all that. I think also too that I don't know if a lot of people. I mean, I remember this from being from a small town, not that small, but still, churches really, even if you're not religious or not. It's not like a big city where you have community centers and you have homeless centers. Really, that falls a lot on the responsibility of churches that do this type of work. So he really just did a fantastic job. I love the little wallpaper and the strips. They were so cute.
Yeah, because I remember like in my hometown, the church was where we had like our fall festival. Yeah. Where we had like a bunch of stuff. Like all of these events happened at the church or the civic center. The civic center was more for
you're a big town.
The quinceañeras.
Wow.
But the church was more for like fall festival and all those things. So Bobby really did do a good job at that, and he got emotional throughout the entire episode, and he also did her bathroom, which she needed like a sanctuary.
She needed a sanctuary. Her bathroom,
she deserved that.
Because it was a mess.
It was a creative mess. She described it, which I am a creative mess. Like, let's talk about how I am a creative mess.
Your bathroom's bad.
Well, no, I am a creative mess.
Oh, you're hot mess. We've talked about that.
That's going to be my Tinder bio. Creative mess.
Creative. Oh my gosh, it's fan. No,
I need to put it away.
No,
I like overdoing it.
No, it's cute. You're not overdoing it at all. One thing I just want to, and then we'll move on. But with Bobby, really that moment where he was really talking to Tammy, and they were kind of had that moment, and like she put his hand on him, and it was just so beautiful that I felt like that was probably one of the first times he had talked to somebody about his experience with religion, and someone didn't. I feel like Tammy just, again, what a saint of a woman. I feel like she actually listened to him and heard him, and it was. I don't think a lot of gay men get that kind of resolution in a religious aspect. So it just ramped it up for Antoni.
So many analogies in this episode. Go to gay Georgia to open up about being gay in the religious community. You interact with this wonderful woman named Tammy, and it's just, it was great.
Next season, or next week, they're going to a town called Butt Sex.
They are, the Butt Sex.
It's going to get real deep.
Butt Sex, Georgia.
We could say Butt Sex. That's a fine word.
The hottest new vacay spot for gays.
Hottest new vacay.
Palm Springs and then
Butt Sex. Wow.
So Antoni.
Let's
move on to my guy, Antoni.
Okay. So Antoni, I mean, they're cooking.
Yeah.
And they're basically what I loved is kind of like,
he didn't really.
You don't teach, and I don't mean this to be stereotypical. I'm saying this because I'm from the South, and I know black women. You don't teach.
Teach them how to
black
cook.
or white. You don't teach a Southern grandma how to cook, y'all. You don't.
And those recipes were in her family for generations.
And Antoni was like, I'm hands off.
You know what? I'm not bringing any avocados into this. I'm not bringing any cheese and crackers or wine pairings. I'm just going to let her do her thing. And she did, which is another thing I liked about this episode is every guy, like, they didn't really help her per se. They just interacted with her.
No, she helped them just as much as they. That's what I loved about this episode.
And like that was so present with Antoni. Like whenever they were cooking the banana pudding or like putting it all together with Tammy and was it her sisters? Her sisters. And then Miles came in. Like they kind of just talked over this whole process of cooking food and it was really a great moment about how like food can be food for the soul. Like it can be a way for people to connect. Yeah. So the banana pudding moment was great.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And then he did actually help with the macaroni, but not because he needed to make the recipe better, but because they needed to feed 200 damned people.
They were all coming. Well, they weren't damned. They were going to church.
Wait a minute. How is it 200 people? The population was 89.
They have friends.
Okay.
Crew.
They had friends who came over from straight Georgia.
Yeah, Netflix.
Netflix crew. Heterosexual Georgia came over to hang out with the gay Georgia.
They could have been from butt sex. I don't know.
They could have been from butt sex.
Yeah.
This is the town over, 15
or
minutes
right
down
around the corner is Reach Around.
Right around the corner.
So,
Reach Around Georgia.
Reach Around Georgia. So, okay. So I do want to, you know what I love though about, what I think is so great about this episode is that everybody seemed to relate to this topic. Even like Scott in our Scott Holston in our chat says, I totally understood where Bobby was coming from. I feel the same way sometimes.
Yeah.
So I think really no matter where you're from as gay men and women, queer people in this country, a lot of times we feel kind of oppressed by religion. And so what I thought was beautiful with Antoni when well, there's two things. First of all, that moment, my first kind of cry moment was in the banana pudding moment when
I've had multiple cry moments with banana pudding. Let's just say that. In the past, I have cried over banana pudding multiple times.
Multiple times.
Okay.
So, okay, well, we're sharing now. No, but when this was really powerful to me to hear someone, you know, we always talk about parents unconditionally loving their children, but the fact that
yes.
So for Miles coming out to his mom, that was hard. You know, that was hard to accept. You know, I think all parents, you know, not all of them jump on the gay train easily.
Yeah, they have ideas about who they want their child to be, and that idea usually doesn't involve the child being gay.
No.
I mean, not because it's a bad thing, but it just doesn't come into the picture. I mean, she said, I had to kind of reconcile my feelings for my son not ever having kids. And then Tan kind of corrected her and said he can have a surrogate. But she clearly had ideas about what her son was going to be.
Clearly. And so instead of, to me, that was so powerful when she literally said, I apologized to my son for not unconditionally loving him.
Over the banana pudding.
I mean, yes. How many parents, though, do that to really just actually apologize?
That was beautiful.
That was my first totally made me cry moment because, just my own self and just my boyfriend. And because, you know, I think that's something that I don't want to overstep my bounds. I know I'm a white guy and so is Charles, but like just in talking.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, you're white.
You're white?
Yeah, real white, sugar.
Excuse me?
I know.
Oh my God.
Everyone's surprised. As Brianna adjusts the camera, she's like, you're blown out. You're so white. I'm like, I know. But what the thing is a lot of people understand that church is not, if you're not African American, talk to somebody who's African American and find in this country and find out kind of how church is so enmeshed and not only just, it's not like we're white people, we're like, oh, we go to church. It's a part of their life the whole time. So the fact that she's able to say that coming from a place of love, that she's able to actually apologize and really stand up for her son and then don't get even started at the testimony at the church when she got up in front of the church talking about Miles.
Yeah.
Oh
and
my
I mean,
gosh.
I think that moment was so powerful was because Antoni reacted so emotionally.
Yeah.
They picked the right moment for her to open up because Antoni, I think, is the most emotional one of the group. So when they were sitting over the banana pudding and Antoni gave his little testimony about how she apologized for not loving him unconditionally. And okay, I have to say, not loving somebody unconditionally is not the same as not loving somebody. She loved him immensely.
Yeah.
If you break it down unconditionally, she loved him on the condition that he would have been a specific type of person. Straight. So she had to check herself and say, no, I'm going to love him no matter what. You know?
And I just want to give her props because, you know, Miles said a lot of people in his community have come out and they're their
Extradited.
parents they don't talk to, and she never did that. So
communicated.
So I know I know that they had a rough period, but it's still that fact that she didn't do that is amazing to me. And I will say too, Antoni's a hot crier.
He is.
He is still.
He's so
He's
cute.
even hotter when he cries, y'all.
Because he did cry at the very end.
Oh God.
When
can we talk about that?
Yeah, when she was
like,
confronting each of them, and he was the one who actually broke down first and really started crying, and then she kind of approached him and comforted him, and that was a moment for Antoni, I think, in this episode, because it made me love him even more, which I don't know is possible, but it is.
He is a hot crier. And he's serving a lot of shirtless pictures on his Instagram now.
I know.
You're happy about it.
Yeah, I am
happy about it.
But I'm not going to talk about that because it makes me very uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
I can't talk about that on a platform as open as YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, we're going to jump into some more, guys. Real quick, though, I just want to let all of our After Buzzers know that here at the network, we produce after shows for nearly all your favorite TV shows, from dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more. And honestly, there's no network that works harder, I think, to serve you television fans, because we love y'all. But I think a lot of people don't know how much of the scope we do here at AfterBuzz, and we need your help in spreading that. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. Besides helping us a ton, here's what's in it for you. 1, it caters specific content to you that you already like that's directly related to you. It brings you your favorite after shows so you don't have to seek them out and look for them. And 3, it suggests content from other channels or podcasts that might interest you. You know, the internet knows what you're doing. You're looking into it, all knows. So that's kind of what it does. And so subscribing to our YouTube channels will also help you discover new shows that we are sure you will love. Since we're already tuned into, we're on the reality channel. You might also be interested in, we do The Proposal. We have Big Brother is coming up, season 20. Can't wait for Big Brother. Jersey Shore, Teen Mom 2. We've got Southern Charm, which is
you know, reality TV is the type of TV that you love to talk about with your friends.
Oh yeah,
I feel
it's
like.
water cooler talk. It's water. So remember, we have all these channels for other genres too. So please don't be shy about subscribing to them either. And if you're worried about pesky notifications, don't be. They are optional. It's easy. Hit that subscribe button now for an even easier experience. And if you let us know that you did it in the comments, we will shout you out on air. We will.
Do it for the gays, y'all.
Subscribe and I'll shout you out. Let us know. Thanks for being the best fans. We promise to do our best to serve y'all, because we're nothing without these fans, y'all.
Nothing at all.
Nothing.
I am but
nothing.
dust without the subscriptions.
You know, I feel like this already. Scott and Lawrence are really talking about how their own experience with church. They haven't even set foot in a church. So obviously, this was emotional for a lot of people.
It really was.
One of them was not Tan.
Tan did nothing.
Did really nothing.
Sorry, girl.
Sorry.
You looked good.
Your hair looked great.
Nice.
So
your hair
cute.
looked great. Your shirts were printed and floral like they always are, but you didn't really do anything.
Like Miles walked up and he was like, "I like your pants. They cut well.
I like your pants. Like the ankles fit really well."
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Oh, they're women's pants."
And he's like, "Bravo, cheerio." He didn't say that.
Tan did nothing, but he did kind of add his Tan isms throughout the episode. That
did.
charming accent was great.
I mean, and even her, he just got it. Normally they do like, maybe all the budget went into the community center.
Oh yeah,
because normally they do like outfits.
Yeah.
Tammy just got a dress, y'all.
She did just get a dress for the church and the community center opening, and it was a wonderful dress.
It was beautiful. It had that little leather thing.
The little peekaboo moment.
Yeah, loved it.
It was gorgeous. Tan, if you were involved in that process, which I'm sure you were, you did a great job.
You did.
But
you were brilliant.
Yeah, but usually, brilliant. Yeah, usually you're like 5 for 5, but this episode you were 1 for 1 because you only had one job.
You were set dressing, but you were pretty set dressing.
You were pretty.
Now, someone who kind of did some stuff too was Jonathan.
Jonathan did have some good moments.
He had the salon. What did he call it in the salon?
Steel Magnolias.
Yes, Blush and Bashful. You've seen Steel Magnolias, right?
Of course I have.
Okay, just making sure I was going to kick you off the panel.
I would be remiss if I was a gay who had not seen Steel Magnolias.
You know, I got to give it to Jonathan too in this episode, in that I did not think that there was a lot to do with her, because I was like, she's got short hair. What are you going to do? And that color.
He worked her out.
That color totally changed her face.
He worked her out.
It made her look 10 years younger.
Yeah, he cut her hair and he was like, "Okay, Halle Berry, I see you coming through," because it was a very Halle Berry type of moment.
Yes, it was.
But her makeover was good, but Miles's makeover was great, because I think that I don't think I do know that after Miles's makeover, that was the moment whenever he actually went to his mom and said, I am coming to homecoming. And they did it in the salon. And it was great because both of them had just gotten their zhuzh, and they were kind of reinvented. And Miles said, I've come around. I've thought about it. A lot of consideration. I'm coming to homecoming. It's going to be a new leaf, a new beginning for us, just like this haircut. It was all fantastic.
I love the idea of homecoming too, because there's
You
always,
are coming home.
Well, there's all those people that feel real bad. I remember like going like, oh, I haven't been to church in like a week or
This
like
was
a
a
month. I'm going to get judged.
This was a homo-coming.
This is a homo. You know, that's a different
that's
show.
That's the name of a different show.
That's a different show. Don't want to Google that, everybody. Wow, Charles Conoly is back, everybody.
Okay.
Wow, I think he'll borrow that fan.
That should have been the name of this episode.
It should have been. His grooming with Miles was beautiful as well. Like, again, you didn't think he'd make a big deal.
Right,
but
he
just
did.
shaping it up totally changed his
Jonathan
face.
turns it out every episode.
Turns it out.
Yeah.
I love him. I'm happy to see him. Okay, so now let's talk about Karamo. Had a really big moment too.
This was the Karamo was like the second biggest character,
Really? I don't know.
think.
Bobby, Antoni, Karamo. I don't know. Karamo did a lot with
Antoni
Karamo
was
did a lot
like
with Miles.
Yeah, well, I say Karamo was the biggest one because he related so directly to Miles and so directly to Tammy. He was basically telling Miles, "Hey, like, I know what it's like growing up a gay black man in." Did he grow up in a small town?
He grew up in Houston.
Houston.
Area, but
Okay,
still,
well, in the South.
In the South.
In the South. He was like, I know what it's like. I know you need to find your people. You need to find your place. And that's what he provided with Miles.
Yeah.
He says you need to go out and seek out those the community that you can thrive in, which turned out being the LGBT choir. Right? The choir moment.
I was a choir nerd, so I mean, my undergrad was in opera and all that kind of stuff. And it was funny, even being a music major in Texas like 20 years ago, you would think, oh, there were so many gays at this huge music school. There weren't. Like, I was one of two people in the middle of like 3,000 music majors. I'm like 1,000, but still.
You were probably one of the only out.
No, I mean out.
Yeah, out.
At the time. But so I just know it's I think the reason why I say that is that Karamo can relate to Miles and how difficult that is in their community, and it's just internally it's a self thing. And also too, there's just all this pressure in our society about, and we're seeing this a lot with Black Lives Matter, just what if the pressure is to be a black man, you know? And so I know a lot of African American men that I've spoken to that are gay have talked about not only do they have the pressure of a lot of their friends, or they always feel like this is their words, not mine, that they're like one generation away from somebody, a family member who's like in prison or something like that. So they want to, which is something I can't even fathom, even though I do have first cousins that are in jail. But still, it's like, so they're fighting, it's all this, and then they're gay on top of that. And it's just like a whole level.
Yeah. And Karamo really does do a good job of relating to the subjects in the Queer Eye series.
He didn't cry, though. I thought he would be a cry.
No, he didn't cry.
And he kept it together.
Yeah.
He was like the only one, because I think Tan got teary once, too. I thought the choir thing
Karamo's not really a crier, now that I think about it.
He's not. He's joyful. He's just
joyful noise.
He's joyful. But, and I love the choir just because, again, that is... that was, I related to Miles as well, is that when I felt kind of the closest to God growing up Catholic was actually when I sang. And I sang all in choir. Because, girl, every church has that choir director, and y'all know he's gay.
Yeah. You know he's gay?
You know he
is.
He's
gay as hell.
He's gay as...
Wait, I don't want to say gay as hell, but I say that a lot.
You said that in church.
Yeah, I did
We're
say
not
it in church.
We're
God bless. God bless.
But
my choir instructor, my choir leader, he, I think, was very, very gay. His name was Lance. And
well, he is now.
He's out now. Hey,
he's
Lance.
Out and proud
hey,
now.
Girl. How's it going?
Hey, girl, yo. Well, I think what I loved about what Karamo was kind of telling Miles too is that, and I know it was helpful for me, that luckily I had my parents, and I had like even if you have a couple of people reassuring and validating who you are and telling you that there's nothing wrong with you, that you're a beautiful person, and that love is love.
You're perfect, you're beautiful.
But
you
that makes
like
such a
Linda
difference.
Evangelista.
Even if it's, exactly. Even if you just have one or two people, and Karamo talked about how he had that. And I just like, I even looking in the chat, I just have to say I get moved like looking at Scott, who just talks about how he envies people who can be out and proud because he doesn't have the strength to do that yet. And
you do have the strength to do it. You just haven't tapped into it yet. And we all have the strength
exactly.
to do it.
You have it when you need it, and you just might not need it right now. But what I love about this show and what I love about what Karamo's telling him, and also for anybody in the chat, this isn't even something we've talked about before, but if you're in this chat, and you're not, we're part of your community.
Yeah, we're here for you. And that was what Karamo did. He said, you have to go seek out your people because they're not going to come and find you.
Exactly. You just took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah. And
that was a good segue.
It was so amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
That was an amazing moment.
You have to seek them out. And so for the people in the chat, if you don't have community, guess what? You do now.
Yeah.
You're here.
We are your family.
We are family.
Whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not.
You probably don't. I mean, look at me. What am I doing?
What is that
My
song?
fan.
Families, family, church, or in prison. You get what you get and you don't get to pick them.
I've never heard that song.
It's a good song. Okay. It's a good song. All right, everybody. So, okay, we've talked about Karamo. We've talked about Miles. I think we've put everything out there. And so I think it's time. Let's talk about...
Oh my gosh, do we want to go into our segment?
Yes.
Now, this segment, y'all, as you remember last season, this segment was called Where Do We Gay From Here? Now, this season, it's going to vary a little bit. So today, this segment is called When It Got Gay. And by When It Got Gay, we're specifically talking about when we shed a very, very, very gay tear for our lovelies on Queer Eye.
Queer Eye.
So for me, I think we actually have the same When It Got Gay moment.
I have two.
Okay, well, I might have two as well.
It's okay. Normally we have 4 people, and it's only 2, so it's fine. You do. So Charles Conoly has to get the last word.
But this one moment was I really started crying. It was near the end when they were saying goodbye to Tammy, and Tammy said, oh my God, what were the exact words? She said he didn't have. She
said God already had a plan for you.
He had the plan, but she worded it so eloquently and so beautifully. But she basically told them that that they were put together for a reason by God so that they could use their talents to help the world.
Yeah, they were all ready to.
And that is whenever Antoni lost it. Oh. And that is where I lost it. Antoni really started breaking down and crying, and he had to turn away.
It was like
he was like shaking. It was so cute. I wanted to hold him. And I don't know if cute's the right word because that's a little patronizing. Like it was just, I loved it.
It was lovely.
And then Tammy confronted him and held him. And that's when she went into her Wizard of Oz moment. That's Dorothy. What it was. I'm Dorothy leaving Oz, and I'm telling each one of you, Fab Five, about what your gift is. Whether you're the Cowardly Lion, whether you're the Tin Man, this is what you, Antoni, give the world. This is what you, Tan, give the world. This is what you, Jonathan and Bobby and Karamo, give the world. And I was crying throughout all of it.
All of it.
Because it just made me want to be a better person. It made me want to give the compliments and love and embrace that she gave. So that's where it got gay. For me. Also, it got gay whenever I whipped out this fan. It got real gay. Now your turn, Matt.
Real gay. That was my moment as well. That though, and following that moment, I think I don't I can watch the movie Sophie's Choice and I'm very moved by it, but I don't cry. Like sad things don't make me cry per se, but moments when people are so selfless, the way Tammy was, and I loved whenever Jonathan switched that, actually, because this is what I love about Jonathan. Aww. I love him that he, like she said, you're such a pure soul of joy. And when she was talking to him, and he literally said, and I feel like I'm a mirror for you because this is what you do for the community, especially for somebody like Tammy that
I'm going to cry right now.
I mean, but it was just so... the reciprocity of love and appreciation. I'm just like,
yeah, and who knew? Because it can be so easy for an episode to say like, "Oh, this is what the church is doing for the gays," but they flipped it and they said, "You know what? This is what the gays are doing for the church," despite the fact that the church is seen as turning away from the gays and turning the other cheek. And what are we going to do? The gays are going to come back and they're going to help the church community.
And Tammy's gonna make sure of it because again, she preached.
Also, honorable mention for Tammy's gospel moment because that was gorgeous. She said, "How can I say I love God when I can't turn to my neighbor and say I love them? I'd call myself a hypocrite." And I said, "Yes, God, my wig was incinerated."
Can I get a gay man?
Can I get 5 gay men? And then she turned and she says, "It was actually 6 gay men because my son." I don't know how she worded it. I don't want to do it injustice by wording it wrongly, but she basically said this is my son and I'm so proud of him and he has returned to the church. We need to embrace him with love. And they cut to the old church ladies with their hats nodding in agreement.
I think that maybe was his father crying. There was some male by him crying.
Yeah, something.
It was.
I thought his dad had died.
It was oh, did he die? It did make me giggle at it when she said, and my son's gay, and then they cut to the two church ladies going, what'd you say?
Yeah. she was like, what?
He gay? It was
Gay.
funny. By the way, you're getting a lot of hashtags for fan work.
Huh?
You're getting a lot of hashtags for your fan work.
Fan work. Is that the hashtag fan work?
There's a lot. There's work that fan. There's that fan though. There's a lot.
This should be
a lot.
A panelist, right? This should be they should have a seat.
They should have its own microphone.
Yeah, it really should. Wait, can you hear?
Yeah.
The fan blowing on the microphone.
Brie, it's killing you right now. Okay, so that was our moment where it got gay for this week. So now we're going to talk about some AfterBuzz news.
AfterBuzz TV News.
We all got a lot. This just happened, y'all. So, but if you're watching the YouTube, if not, we can fill you in on the podcast, which, by the way, podcasters, we love you too. Be sure to leave a review on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play. We appreciate that. Leave some reviews. Even if it says hashtag that fan, though, give us 5 stars.
Yes.
All right. So, Tammy retired from teaching, y'all.
God bless.
She did. It says, a little tweet says, Smoky Road Middle School's 2018 retirees, and one is Miss Tammy Hicks. So we're proud of her.
What are they holding? Plates?
They're holding like little silver things, like like the runner-up in the Paris Open, the tennis.
The French Open.
Yes.
I was just there in Paris. That looks like the Wimbledon plate.
It does look like the Wimbledon
called,
plate.
You know what the little fun fact? You know what the Wimbledon plate is called?
The plate.
Yes, that's a plate with no T. No, it's actually called the Venus Rosewater dish.
Oh, wow.
In case you didn't know. But it has nothing to do with Tammy. I'm so happy that she retired. Well, I'm not happy that she retired, but I'm happy that she is clearly achieving this great milestone in her life, because God knows she deserves every milestone that comes her way, and she deserves every one of those plates. Because we love you, Tammy.
Tammy, steal those other bitches' plates. Get those plates.
Yes.
Don't do that. She still looks good, though. I looked on her Twitter feed. This is an article from Bustle talking about she's still very active in the community.
Of course
she's
she
still
is.
volunteering a ton. Her hair is still this pretty dark color. What Jonathan did, she is serving it. So I could not be more... Couldn't be more proud for what did they say at the beginning? They said hot mess to Sunday best, and I could not be more proud of Tammy and Miles.
She really wasn't even a hot mess at the beginning. She was just a creative mess. Creative mess to Sunday best.
Creative mess to Sunday best. And I want to take a little time out just to call out our fans, by the way. So again, Scott and Lawrence Falk, we appreciate y'all so much. Scott just said, this chat is the best part of my Sunday.
Aww.
Well, I know. That makes me so
happy. Are we taking you to church on this Sunday,
We are.
Scott?
We're building community right here in the middle of AfterBuzz.
Consider me Scottish.
Oh, Lord. Don't hit on our guest. That sounded
Why
like
not?
you were hit. I did. It's fine. I did once. So be sure, if y'all aren't watching on the YouTube channel, you can still go on and leave comments after the show. You don't have to be in the live chat, so you can log on to YouTube and say, hey, y'all didn't talk about this, or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And let us know, because we're thirsty. We'll respond to you.
Oh my God, are you kidding? Have you met me? I'm dehydrated.
Charles doesn't have anything to do, y'all. Like, he's just sitting at home eating Cheetos, and he's going to type on this keyboard with Cheeto
myself
fingers.
with a big leaf.
And a big leaf, yeah. He wants to respond to you. Please.
I'm waiting with bated breath and fingertips just hovering over the keyboard, waiting to respond.
Okay, so we normally don't, because we don't know what's going to happen, but let's do real quick. What do you think the prediction of this? Let's do some predictions.
This season?
Yeah, like where do you think, like...
Now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
This is new. Thank you for bringing the booth, for following on this, because this wasn't planned. We yes-anded this impromptu. But I just thought, like, this was kind of this episode went deep.
Oh, it was emotional.
And so I feel like, I'm kind of like, I feel like I need to strap on my big boy pants and get ready.
You need to strap on what? You said strap on.
Oh my gosh.
This season predictions for me is going to be, this season I think is going to be a lot more emotional than last season. I think they're going to go even deeper, and I think they're going to go even further towards the not just the physical before and after makeover moment with fashion and hair and makeup and everything. I mean, not makeup, because their subjects are men, but except for
Well,
Green
they're not
Stick.
anymore. This is the first woman.
Right, and I think they actually, do they have another one later
sure
in
they
the
will.
season?
Yeah, I'm sure they
I think
will.
they do have another one more woman, but I think that this season is going to go deeper. I think we're going to be crying a lot more. I think we're going to be feeling it. It's going to be like Oprah Winfrey, but the gay man version.
Gay man version. I'm predicting they're going to get a really kind of like cool, awesome lesbian and do a makeover. I think that would be cool. That's what I'm super stoked for. I think that'll be cool. Or maybe even too, that'd be cool, like to do someone who's transitioning, someone who's trans. I think that would be great too.
Oh my God, Marr, you should be a producer on the show. That's such a good idea.
I should.
Oh my God.
Yeah, right.
Because the queer community is more than just gay men and lesbian women. It's transgender, it's asexual, it's all of the above.
It's all of it. We love everybody.
I love that prediction. That's my favorite prediction of the season.
Thank you.
And we're only one episode in.
But on that, then we're going to end this show now because I'm just so happy. But Charles Conoly, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me behind this fan, and you can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at Charles Conoly, y'all.
You can. And y'all, you can find me at the Matt Marr. I'm doing the Southern Charm panel, so that chat, woo, that is blowing up. Trashless stuff is going down. And yeah, I'll be Matt Marr. And y'all, again, comment, share this. We will. And be prepared.
Enrich our lives with your comments, and we'll enrich your lives with our gayness and our homosexuality.
Yes, we tentatively have an interview scheduled with one of the Fab Five.
Can you guess which one it is?
And there might be more. So we're going to bring it this season, y'all.
Yes.
All right. We'll see you next week. Love each other. Be kind. And we'll see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The gay man.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.